What you're about to see is epic. It's pretty obvious by now that Hollywood is increasingly trying to impose a certain set of values on the public, pushing a one-sided agenda that is limiting personal freedom as the ultimate goal. Kurt Russell has noticed this as well and made it his mission to resist these forces advocating for core American values, but before I go on with the video, watch this clip of Kurt when he appeared on The View.
Recently you made some headlines for saying that you felt gun control laws wouldn't deter terrorists. Explain to folks.
Interesting. Well, you know, these are these things where, first of all, I was in a situation, we do what we call the dog and pony.
Right.
We're out doing the dog and pony selling a picture, and you get sometimes you get what you feel is slightly ambushed by somebody who's really got an agenda, and that's sort of, I think, that's my opinion of what happened to me the other day. The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors get political. It's just something I can't stand watching. So having said that, no, I was kind of asked to put it in context somehow with this movie. Mm-hmm. You know, my personal feeling is that there's a big difference between Fantasyland and reality. Fantasyland is what we do. You're either writing something, writing a song, writing a book, doing a movie, doing a television show. That's Fantasyland. Mm-hmm. And that's where that stuff belongs. In reality, when we're dealing with things like terrorism and whatnot, we're all going to have different opinions on how to do it.
What's even worse is that these woke celebrities present their opinions as indisputable facts, trying to position themselves as authority figures on complex topics by leveraging their fame and massive platforms. They also fail to contribute original thoughts to the discussion. Instead, they simply rely on parroting popular talking points, aligning with the dominant narrative without questioning its validity or considering alternative viewpoints. By the way, make sure to subscribe for more discussions like this. Despite their attempts to appear as thought leaders, these people lack the expertise, experience, or in-depth knowledge required to make informed statements on these issues. Yet their opinions are amplified by the media, leading many to believe that these viewpoints are more credible or legitimate than they actually are. This creates a skewed public perception where dissenting opinions are dismissed or marginalized because they don't align with the celebrity-endorsed narrative. For instance, a recent research paper conducted by the author Anthony Nones, titled "Can Celebrity Set the Agenda?", found that in line with meaning transfer theory, the presence of a celebrity in a news story may lead readers to think if celebrity X thinks this issue is important, it must indeed be important. The idea that celebrities should be regarded as authorities on political or social matters is nothing short of problematic, and don't get me wrong, I'm a firm believer in everyone's right to voice their own opinions, but these people clearly have an agenda and push their opinions should not be mistaken for factual or well-founded positions.
I think there's a very strong reason Founding Fathers had for the Second Amendment, and that is that no government ever hasn't had to fight its own people, and its own people hasn't had to fight its own government. We had our Civil War. If that Second Amendment hadn't been there, those people would not have had the opportunity to do what they considered was defending their life, their way, their style of living. So I agree with that. I think that's an important part of our existence, and it's basically that simple.
I think that people more object to the excesses of the Second Amendment, not the Second Amendment. It's these
that's where the debate comes in. I think it's too bad that the debate can't remain kind of civil too, and that's hard to do. It's one of those things that it's like I talked about, sometimes talking about terrorism. Whatever we do, and we all have our opinion on that too. Whatever we do, we're a little late for the people who've died.
Is that the last time you're going to talk politics as an actor?
Until I'm asked to later, I'll be asked in an hour and a half about it. Once they trot that pony out there, I go, let it go.
That's absolutely correct. I love how Kurt slid a comment that perfectly summarized how the industry functions, which is the woke left's failure in keeping debates civil. What they do is promote a singular narrative that aligns with progressive values, silencing voices that challenge this perspective. Celebrities and creators who express alternative views risk being criticized, leading to a culture of conformity. This lack of diversity in thought limits meaningful debate and the open exchange of ideas, ultimately reducing the depth of the content produced. And what The View's hosts were trying to do was put Kurt on the spot in an attempt to get a controversial response. But Kurt remained unfazed, and instead of getting defensive, he calmly pushed back and pointed to the importance of the right to bear arms as a core element of American freedom, highlighting its role in protecting citizens from potential tyranny. He said the Second Amendment is not just about hunting or personal protection, it's about preserving liberty in a broader sense, which was also a vital point to the Founding Fathers when they established this right. Kurt expands on this idea in another interview that he did with a woke Hollywood reporter.
Yeah, I don't understand the concepts of conversation of the gun culture. We've lived with guns since, what, the 7th century or something? I don't know.
We all know that right now, guns is a trope. It's it's not a trope. It's a totem. It's a metaphor that disenfranchised white guys need. It makes them feel good because they're being.
You can say what you want. I don't agree with that. It's not my thing.
But it's statistically.
Well, you can look. If you think gun control or something like that is going to change a terrorist point of view, I think you're like out of your mind. I think I think anybody is. I think it's absolutely insane. The problem we're having right now is that we don't have the concepts of how to turn it around and say, you may think you've got me worried about what you're going to do. Dude, you're about to find out what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. And that's going to worry you a lot more. And that's what we need. That will change the concept of gun culture, as you call it, to something of reality, which is if I'm a hockey team and I got a guy bearing down on me as a goaltender, right. I'm not concerned about what he's going to do. I'm going to make him concerned about what I'm going to do.
I get that.
To stop him. That's when things change.
Honestly, a lot of actors who express similar opinions just got outright canceled. For instance, actors such as Vince Vaughn got blacklisted from Hollywood for voicing their support to the Second Amendment, but Vince continued holding his ground and said in an interview, quote, "I was raised with the idea that you could have different likes and beliefs and you should respect and defend that in other people, not shut it down. The people you disagree with the most, you should stand up for their right to do that." And I love Vince Vaughn. And that's the exact reason why we see many actors hold back from making controversial comments or expressing dissent to the dominant narrative. Many in Hollywood are aware that diverging from the mainstream or the narratives that are more woke can lead to negative consequences, including alienation from major industry figures, reduced opportunities for work, and negative media coverage. This creates an environment of fear and self-censorship, which results in the homogenized set of views we see today.
The guys who are on the no-fly list because of terrorist connections, can get a gun pretty easily.
They can also make a bomb pretty easily.
Yeah.
So what? They can also get knives and stab you. What are you going to do about that? They can get cars and run you over with them. What are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that?
They didn't kill the people in San Bernardino.
Oh, but they've killed others that way. Haven't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Outlaw everything? That isn't the answer.
Just put some controls.
Put some controls. What? So the people who want to defend themselves can't?
No, not so you can't. Just so the idiots can't get a hold of them. That's all.
Do you really believe they're not going to? Are you serious about that?
Yeah,
are you seriously? What good will that? Oh my God! You and I just disagree.
Okay.
You and I just disagree. I understand that you think that you can control the behavior of people that are dead set on taking your way of life away from you. I think you can control that.
No.
And there's only one thing you can do with that, and that's say, no, dude, that's not going to happen.
This segment alone shows how the woke culture works. The ultimate goal is to control the way people think, communicate, and behave, and make no mistake, this control extends beyond mere influence because it involves actively policing language, behavior, and even thought processes to align with their set of values. But Kurt is one of the few that are willing to break away from this endless cycle of political correctness, where everyone competes to outdo each other's virtue signaling. His stance against the prevailing narrative shows the challenge of mainstream independent thought in a culture that demands conformity. And the core danger of it lies in the plan of making everyone run with their own narrative and follow their own ideas, but many aspiring actors are okay with giving away their inherent freedoms in pursuit of professional success and making money. Apart from that, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think more actors will join Kurt in his fight against the industry? Let's get the conversation rolling in the comments down below.